to watch too for the fans, and I expect this one to be another great game. A sellout. Last year was a sellout. This one's a sellout.
3 in a row.
It's a good. Is it 3 in a row?
Yeah.
That's tremendous. So that's a good sign for basketball here in New Jersey.
For sure.
What do you hope to learn about your team from after the Fordham loss?
Yeah, I want to learn, how we bounce back. It's another road game, so we've had 4 out of 5 on the road. I keep telling them all the time, hardest thing in college basketball to win road games. They've got to start believing me one of these days. But, I'm hoping we play well. We've shown signs of being really good, and then we've shown signs of being not very good. So inconsistency has probably been what we've been most consistent with, and hopefully we practice better. Crazy week this week because finals and last week of class, but today and tomorrow we'll get 2 good days in and head out there for a tough game.
How much has Miles Powell grown as a player over the last year from what you've seen on film?
Boy, he's tremendous. He's probably one of the best tough shot makers that I've seen. They say how much weight he's lost. I never saw him as that guy. Every time he's played us, he's been terrific. So he puts it down, he shoots it. He's got a swagger to him. He's really, really good player. He's a problem for a lot of people, as he was for Kentucky the other day, and Louisville, and Grand Canyon, and all these places. He's a problem. He's a tough matchup.
How do you attack him defensively?
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen everyone try different things. I don't know. Try to do a good job, not allowing him to get as many touches. You got to have some tricks up your sleeve too. So, we may have some of those.
Is rebounding a key for your team?
I think, and watching last year too, yeah. I think huge key. And, wants to defend. And when we've defended the right way, we can play anybody. And when we don't want to defend, you see, tough night for us.
Steve, some slow starts in the second half, the last 3 or 4 games. How do you address that, and what do you think the issue is there?
Yeah, just think that's the way games play out. We're on the road, 4 out of the last 5 games, tough environments. I don't know if the second half, I didn't like the first half in any of those games either. So it's not just that. You got to play good basketball. We didn't get off to a good start last year in the game. We didn't get off to a good start in the second half. We finished well. So it's the way it is. But we do have 4 out of our top 9 guys are freshmen. That they got to figure it out a little bit, and that's the challenge to them. This is big boy basketball.
Steve, from the guys who returned from last year's game against Seton Hall, the way they played, the environment they had here, does that give them confidence, or is that just dead and buried a year later?
Yeah, no, I think any time you play a game like that, it gives you confidence, especially if you've played in these games before.
Right. In this type of environment.
Yeah,
right?
and Gene's played in 3 of them. He knows, this will be his 3rd game. He knows Shaq Dorson's played in these games. Gio, was very good last year in the game. So those guys got to be huge for us. They got to explain to the other guys what kind of, environment's going to be, and you're on the road, and you're playing a really good team, and well coached, and, I look forward to it. I think this is what college basketball. These are fun.
How do you approach? I know some coaches differ the way they approach a rivalry when it's not a conference game. Do it change anything for you at all?
No, we're just one game at a time. This is the obstacle right now. I don't know if you conference and non-conference, they're all obstacle games for us. And this one, again, I think road games are always different. You got to play great on the road. So really try to get your guys in that mindset. You're not going to get any calls. You're not going to get, you got to play good basketball. The fans are going to be on you, and you got to embrace that. And, but every game is a different challenge, whether, conference game or not.
Do you have particular advice for players on playing in a super passionate, charged environment with intensity, but not over the line?
Yeah, you still have to play basketball. You have to be poised. You have to, execute. Emotion's great and all that, but if it's used the right way, and bottled the right way. So, you got to play good basketball, and you got to, especially against a team like this, they're playing with tremendous confidence, and so, you got to come out and play well, and I believe we will. We're a team figuring it out a little bit, but when we figured it out, we're pretty good, and we've certainly have been tested in some tough environments over the last few years too. So it'll be fun to see this environment.
I think we've
just the last couple of years, like how many players that you play. Have you settled on a rotation right now? Are you comfortable playing 9, 10, 11 guys? 10,
Yeah.
I guess. 9.
We play 10. You know, again, you know, a lot has to do with the matchups and teams you're playing and stuff. I think sometimes as you go through the non-conference league, you have a lot of different teams, like, you know, so you have zone team one night, you have a small team, you have a small team with a small center, you have, you know, and then you go play Wisconsin with 2 bigs and Michigan State with 2 bigs. So I think that's always part of your rotation. I think, you know, the guys that have been playing now, that's our rotation, and you know, guys can play themselves into that rotation. Like, I think Shaq Carter's done a real good job, you know, of getting minutes, especially as we play bigger teams, you know, physically. But that means someone else is losing minutes, probably some of the smaller guys are losing minutes. So, you know, I think you're always a work in progress, but you got to have 10, 11 guys ready to go, because last week Issa had the flu. He wasn't here for practice all week. You know, someone's got to be ready to go, and that's not the last illness or sickness or, you know, whatever you're going to have to deal with during the course of the season. So we have 11 guys that are eligible and ready to go. They all better be ready.
How's he feeling?
Yeah, I mean, he's been fine now this week. You know, last week was a tough week, but, you know, he's great. He's been great in practice.
Montez slid in for him in the starting lineup. How much has he grown on the defensive end? It seems like he's gotten better with that.
You know what? He's grown in both ends. You know, we got to the foul line 12 times in the last 3 games. That's helped us a lot. You know, he gets to the rim. You know, his defense is much improved. His practices. You know, I say to these guys all the time, you got every day 2 hours. You know, and he's utilized his 2 hours. He's practicing better, and therefore his results are better, you know, in the game. So he's going to be a good player. He's, you know, just a lot in your first 9 games. He's faced a lot of, you know, different tests, and, you know, obviously he's going to have Miles, you know, Powell. He's going to have another huge test, you know, on Saturday. You guys good?
Yep.
Thank you, Steve.
Awesome. Thank you guys.